Thank you so much for staying with us and welcome back to the show. We really appreciate your company. Every morning you wake up with us, you keep us company since we start this particular program till the end. Every day we appreciate you, our viewer. So why don't you stand by and join us for yet again another conversation that involves you and I. So every day you hear them, you see them across different media platforms. You love them for what they do, for what they bring to you every morning. I'm talking about media personalities in our country, be it radio, be it television. This is actually an opportunity for you, wherever you're watching us from, to appreciate whoever you listen to, whoever you watch on a daily basis, and you get to love what they do. So this conversation we are just about to have will tell you how exactly you can be part of their career growth and their success, and you get to, appreciate them for what they do. So why don't you stay with us and be a part of this particular conversation. At Safin_Aching is my Twitter handle. The hashtag we are using is Good Morning Kenya. So there is something I know you've heard about. It's something that is really exciting us as a media personality, and also you as well. We're talking about the RTP Awards. This is the Radio and Television Personality Award. For the very first time, it's happening in Kenya, but I tell you, in West Africa, this is something that is a big deal. It's a huge deal for them that have already been part of this journey for 7 years now. So for the very first time, as Kenyans, we get a chance to be part of this particular great award, and we want you to be a part of it. So why don't you join us for this conversation that I'll be having with my guests this morning. I'll start by my far left, introducing the brain behind the RTP Awards, all the way from Ghana. He tells me he's an African, so basically he's all over. His name is Wilcox Samuel Dulen. He is the Chief Operations Officer, RTP Awards. 7 years down the line, he decides to bring this to Kenya. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us. And of course, we'll be relying on you a lot to understand more about RTP. Probably a word of hello to the viewer.
Thank you for having me, Kenyans. It's a pleasure being here, and we think that we've brought excitement, and excitement we'll get.
All right.
Thank you for having me here this morning.
Karibu.
Karibu. Asante.
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 All right. Nyambura Wambu, the Marketing Director, RTP Awards Kenya. Thank you so much for joining us as well. Probably also get a chance to say hello to the viewer.
Good morning. Very grateful to be here, and thank you so much for inviting us, because we'd like a platform to discuss further what we're doing.
All right, Karibu Sana. So let's begin straight away with our conversation for the morning. We're talking about a Radio and Television Personality Award, something that is for the very first time happening in our country. But you have a history and a background from where you come from. 7 years you've been part of this, you've been doing this. Tell us a bit about it, and probably what inspired you to start the RTP Awards.
Viewers, do I say Asante? Because I love the language so very much. Yeah, let's go back to RTP Award. RTP Award is a brainchild of necessity. Why do I say brainchild of necessity? RTP Award came as a result of, came up 11 years, about 7 years today, and what really brought RTP Award is, we have these journalistic associations where you have the best journalists in this, the best journalists in that. And at the point I felt that the media industry does not only do with journalists. There are those also who also contribute so much into this industry that nobody even cares about. And that is what necessitated the idea of RTP Award. And that in 2011. Now, in 2010. So in 2011, we started the first journey in Accra, Ghana, the Radio Personality Award. And today, on the website, even in Accra, you can just make a phone call and they'll tell you about what the event has done so far. The event has, like I keep telling people, that it's a win-win situation for RTP Award. Now, it's an event that adds value to anchors, presenters, and all those other core factors that makes up the media, the television, and the radio stations. So it's been doing very well. And we thought of extending it. On the 18th of December, we'll be doing the RTP Award in England, as a matter of fact. And then I felt that, no, before going to England, well, I expand my Africa, the coast in Africa. So the next thing we had in mind was to look at Kenya. Now, why Kenya? Now, you asked me from West Africa to Kenya, why Kenya? You will agree with me that apart from South Africa, within East Africa and the West African aspect of broadcasting, Kenya is up there. that today, even Nigeria has not gone to digitalization yet. Kenya has not gone yet, but you've gone 5 years ago. So when you look at the kind of presentation you have in Kenya here, I mean, you look at the level of your content, your production. I mean, it's high there. Then why can't RTP come in here to kind of develop it further? Now, how to develop further? In making them understanding that whatever you do, there is value, there is pride in what you do. Okay? Now, what RTP stand to do here is that at the end of the day, if you become the personality, the overall personality of the year TV, for instance, there's value.
Before we get to that, you know, you're sharing with me this morning, you're telling me how we have content as Kenyans, we have good presentation.
Yes.
And we're coming from a point where people say, you know, we don't celebrate our own. Tell us, you are from Ghana, and you seem to be very passionate about what we have in Kenya. Talk to Kenyans who are watching this morning about the level of, you know, professionalism and effort that we put in our work, and the reason why we should be having such awards at such a time. Yeah,
like I said, you know, when I came in, what really necessitated me talking about RSB Kenya? One, if you look at the content, you look at the finesse in the presentation, it's amazing. You know, then you ask yourself a question. When you find or when you see all this, what is there for these anchors? What are there for these radio presenters who do so well? Like I was in the radio yesterday, I was so amazed. I thought I was in America, but this is Kenya. Their diction, I mean, it's great. I mean, it's so impressive, you know. So I think that Kenya has what it takes. They're up there in broadcasting. They're up there,
right.
And I think ROTP is it's a platform now for excelling what they've been doing over the years. We want Kenyans to appreciate what they have, and that's why you have ROTP as a platform.
Okay. Nyambura, this is happening for the very first time in our country.
Yes, it
so
is.
far, there's been a process that you've been involved in making sure that we are where we are. The list is already out, yet to be unveiled. Tell us about the level of acceptance and, you know, how you've managed to pass this information to our Kenyan market.
The process started, I'd say, late last year, end of last year. So we came up with a committee, and setting up the committee was it was very involving and very tasking, because we had to make sure that we get people from all walks of life, because we need every Kenyan to be comfortable with the list that comes out of nominees. So we came up with a list of nominees. We've handed over the letters to the nominees. Most of them got them actually delivered by hand, from me personally.
Wow.
And you'd get the feedback, like when I deliver the letters, for those who are in the stations, they'd maybe be presenting their news or something along those lines. When you hand over that nomination letter to the office manager or the office administrator, you'd tell because of how excited they'd get about receiving the letter. As soon as they opened the envelope and looked at how the letters were printed and what they were about, they'd actually say, this is so great, it's finally time someone is paying attention to the faces that push our media out there. They're the people who send us information, entertainment, all sorts of things. So we've also had some engagement with the people outside, because we need to get as many people out there voting. This is going, all the nominees are going to, the winners are eventually going to be chosen depending on how people vote.
Okay, and we'll get to that part of the conversation, but let me take you back. What are some of the, you know, qualifications or criteria that you were using as a committee to decide on who gets to be nominated? Okay.
First of all, it should be, we'd focus on viewership. We try and see who has the biggest numbers in terms of viewership, depending on certain categories. If, say, it's a radio show, we compare across the line, like, say, a gospel radio show. We compare all radio stations offering a gospel show, and then we'd compare viewership, diction, the loyalty of the people that are coming regularly to the, it's just about
consistency.
Yeah, it's not a consistency. Yeah, it's not just me visiting today. It's about me visiting today, being there tomorrow, being there the day after. You can see that even when you look at their social media platforms, you can see the engagement from the public. So, diction, consistency, loyalty from the members. And we at times we even consider the people who are coming up from scratch. It's just across the board. Yeah, but Dr. Wilson maybe can clarify more.
Yeah, and as you do that, tell us a bit about, earlier you were explaining to me how you do it with, back in Ghana. The people who want to be nominated get to buy some forms that they get to fill for them to get a chance to be nominated. But in Kenya, you've slashed that out. There is no need to buy a form. Tell us about, you know, why you decided to do that, and also more about some of the things that you consider to make one be eligible to be nominated for this particular award.
know, in life, the first child always go through the pains.
Yeah.
The second child might be born into a silver or gold spoon. So in ROTP, Kenya was born into a gold spoon. Because why do I say that is that why we started in Ghana in 2011, we did what we call nomination forms, where we go and buy forms, we send forms to media houses, then the media houses themselves in turn nominate their best to get the forms. So when I came into Kenya and saw that Kenya was right for ROTP, because of I have a board, the Kenyans, these are very integral part of the media sector in Kenya. I said, no, I don't want to sell form here. Why? Because nobody knows about ROTP award, radio TV personality award. Nobody knows about it in Kenya here. So if you say you want to sell form, and sorry to say in quote, you know, with my background as a Nigerian, there'll be a whole lot of misconception. So I said, no, we don't sell no form.
It's new.
It's new. Let them accept it. Let them say that it is real. Let them say that it's beneficial. Then we can talk about, for now, no form. Though along the lines, I said, no, I'm not going to sell no form.
Okay.
What you need to do is that since you're an advisory board, you're the committee, you're Kenyans, I expect you as retired media personnel and with your level of involvement in media in Kenya, you should be able to know, for instance, you have what you call measure reports on media, you have these statistics they give out to know about audience followership and all that, you know, it's part of it. So if you do those research, you'll be able to know those core people that have been in the industry and also those who are coming up, the level of followership. And
okay. The reason I'm asking so much questions about how the names get to be selected is because in Kenya we want transparency. We want to know how did that person get there.
I am coming to that.
Let me just finish something. So you're telling me that you entrusted that responsibility to a committee that was made up of people who've been in the media for a long time.
With integrity.
Okay.
Very, very.
So what else was their key responsibility?
Now, what they need to do was to look at that. You look at the personality, you look at the diction, you look at the finesse of the presenters, you look at their consistency, you know. Now, for you to be a personality of a particular category, there should be some level of growth that you must have built over the time, over a period of time. Or within 2016, 2017, you must have been, you know, within the system. You must have built up to a particular situation or position for you to be able to become a personality. Okay. So I haven't said that to them. There was a guideline because if you go to our website, you see the criteria. So I printed the criteria and they had the criteria. So they worked based on the criteria. And it's amazing that at the end of the day, what I saw, I was quite amazed. You know, because having been here for some time, I watch programs, I watch news and internet programs on TVs and channels, and I was quite impressed. The quality was quite high.
So as a result of that process, over 150 names were
part of we have 34 awards. Now you have 150 nominees for 34 awards. Okay. Then also we have 2 non-voting awards, making it 36. Recognizing some people who have contributed philanthropically in different areas within the media sector also in Kenya. Okay. You know, we have
so
those,
that is a non-voting category?
Yes, non-voting, yes.
Okay, special categories. All right, let's talk more about the categories. Nyambura, you were part of, you know, that process of making sure that you reach as many people as possible. Tell us about how you managed to achieve inclusivity and representation, because he says he was impressed with the list that came out. Is this list something that you can categorically say represents the face of Kenya? These are the people that Kenyans love to watch and hear. How did you manage to get there?
I'd say it was weeks and weeks of back and forth communication between all the committee members. It took us about 2-3 weeks to come up with the list. because we had meetings, we'd have sit-downs where all of us would be present. We decide these are the categories we're going to sit on today. And then we start with a category, say, best TV presenter right now in Nairobi, say Swahili. Everyone would contribute who they think stands for them and the reasons why. And as soon as everyone had spoken, we'd go back and vote again and vote again. So you'd find we'd go down eliminating people based on certain qualities, like their viewership numbers weren't as high compared to the person who's in front. The consistency of the message is a bit different with this one compared to this person. This person even interacts with the audiences even after they're off air. They try and engage them using their different social media platforms. So things like that. So we went back and forth, back and forth. By the time we came up with the first list, there were still some issues. We had a second sit down with everyone there. We went through the list one by one. And that is 38 categories, 4 nominees per category, 153 people. Wow. So we had to go back and forth until all the committee members agreed that this is what we want to offer Kenya. So I believe in terms of inclusivity, in terms of transparency, we got everything covered there with the committee. Yeah, and we're very proud of the results we got. Yeah.
Let's talk more about the categories. Like, I know you're passionate about all of them, but then which ones are you like so excited about? Some that probably even in the events you've had before, you've never had such a category.
Yeah, the category I'm quite excited about is a new one that the Kenyan people felt that should be that we've never done before, which is the, how do you call that again?
The Rising Star.
The Rising Star.
The Rising Star category.
You know, I felt so happy about that because we've not done that in Accra before. We've not even thought about it. But so when they sat down, they said, no, let's think about the Rising Star. And I said, good, because they said, what do you call it, the future of tomorrow? Okay, so if you're building the bigger ones you think you're building, these ones are coming that are going to be in their shoes.
You need to encourage.
So when you encourage them, some others will join them. So it was quite interesting. And the most on all category that I'm so excited about is the Swahili.
Okay.
You know, because I'm a man that believes in language. And I really, when I came in here to see how Swahili is spoken with news, with sports, I was amazed. I was amazed. Because in West Africa, you don't say it. It's only on radio that you have a vernacular in sports.
Yeah.
But on TV, you don't have vernacular in sports. Now, in my country, Nigeria, it's even difficult because which language do you want to use? Now, just of recent, now we're talking about local content that things are beginning to move gradually, but you're far there.
Yeah.
So the Swahili is
and
quite...
it's good that our Kenyan audience this coming from. You've been in the media industry for 28 years.
And
it's
I
very...
was quite... I mean, I don't want to mention channels here. But at times I sit down in my house and I want to watch sports and I want to watch in Swahili. I don't understand it, but it's interesting. You get me?
All right.
Because if we speak a language that we don't understand, which is English, and that's what we have in Africa. I wish Swahili can be cut across both Central Africa, West Africa. Let's all speak Swahili.
Yeah, I wish.
You know, you see, the coronation there will be so interesting. You understand that you speak a language you're proud of. You need to watch these guys who do Swahili sports, and it's like the Swahili is like English. You know the way they speak it.
It's our national language.
That's what I'm saying. It's interesting.
Yeah.
And I'm going to give a surprise in Swahili. I've not told the committee. But I'm going to give anybody that wins in Swahili. There's going to be a surprise. Yes.
Wow.
I love to encourage
it. It keeps getting better.
Yes. Then the final one is the ROTP award, which is my heart. That is the ROTP Personality Award. That award is an award that stands out. It's an award that stands. It's like after going through TV Personality Award, it's within radio and TV. Okay, that award shows that in Kenya as it stands today, this is the best.
This is the person to watch. Yeah. Wow.
And the category of that award in Kenya is Clash of the Titans.
Yes.
It's gonna be hard to make a decision.
Yes. That is Clash. If you see the, I will not mention the name, but if you see the names
You're
that are
making
there,
us so curious to know who is on the list, who is on the list, who is on the list, you know.
ROTP award, if you see the names there.
Like, okay, so tell us more about when this will be unveiled.
On the 3rd
We are
of February.
so curious to know.
On the 3rd of February at Radisson Blue. And
The 10th?
3rd.
The 3rd.
You people say 3rd.
Oh.
We say 3rd.
See my
So,
life.
You see, I wish I can speak Swahili
my
now.
life.
I wish I can speak Swahili now. I would have said it in Swahili so we can understand it properly. So how do you say 3rd in Swahili?
It's okay.
Tatu.
Tatu.
Tatu. Tatu. Okay?
Okay.
Yes, Asante. Tatu. All right?
All
now,
right.
at Radisson Blue, it's going to be a night of black and gold, splendor, you know. And also, we're having that for, it's a dinner night where we want to have a kind of, it's going to be a fraternized atmosphere. It's going to be an atmosphere filled of fun, you know, and pleasantries. We'll just, because it's one thing to appreciate people who are doing very well.
Yeah, true.
Now you have 153 persons coming together. We want to have a level where we can fraternize. The night, a night where we'll come and lose out, enjoy ourselves, meet ourselves, interact. You understand? So for that night, we'll have Elani, who is Elani. There's a group in Kenya, and we'll have the band. The band is going to be here on Friday. He's arriving in Kenya on Friday, and he's going to play there. Then
he has confirmed he's coming.
Yes.
I showed it. I showed it to you.
I saw it.
It's a Sasa.
I saw it.
Nairobi. He's going to be here. So the band is going to be here on Friday.
Yes.
We'll go from the airport to the Kenyans are going to meet him. Then we have some other interviews we're going to do with him. And after the show or on Saturday, Radisson Blue will start from, Red Carpet will start from 4 and ends at 9. Now at 9, all lose to Carnival. That's where we're going to have the after party, the Boogie Down.
Wow.
You know, that's where the band is going to play, wonderful nights. We just want to do
Fun and dance
we just
all
want to do
night.
something different.
Oh my
We
goodness.
want something different. This country needs to be celebrated when it comes to media,
All
when it
right.
comes to broadcasting. Kenya in Africa needs to be celebrated.
Wow. It's very good of you to be doing
All right.
this. It's the 3rd of February.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is when the list will be unveiled.
Yes.
So what next after
Good.
that? Yeah?
Now, after
so
the
what
un-
happens
after
after
the
we've known,
unveiling-
like the who and who's?
After the unveiling, Kenyans now have the opportunity to see who have been nominated. Okay? Now it's up to Kenyans to vote. Now there's going to be a code, a Safaricom code that will be sent out on each category. So all you need to do is that if this is the best sports Swahili anchor, you like, vote for him. You go to ROTP Award, the names are there. Who do you think is the best? Who do you think is the best overall personality of the year in Kenya? Is there? Vote for him. So at the end of
So
the
it's the viewers and the listeners. It's driven by them.
it's-
It's
yeah,
actually
it's-
them
that's
to
what I'm saying.
decide.
It's
There's
theirs.
no bench of judges
it's
who get
theirs.
to decide.
And the good thing we've done again is that we've brought in very reliable and credible, what do you call them, auditing firm to do the collation.
All right.
Yeah.
So Manifold or ROTP Award will have no business with the collation. We don't know how it's collated. As you vote, this company does the collation. Okay?
And they will tally
and
the
they
votes.
tally everything. Then or we don't even know. It's on the final day,
That
on
you
the
will know
24th,
who has won
that
in
they
which
will now
category.
bring in categories who has won.
Gospel, sports,
Oh,
reggae show,
that's it.
morning show,
Yes.
TV, radio,
Yeah.
Swahili, English.
everything. Reggae, gospel, you know, Swahili, you know. And next year we're also looking at adding 1 or 2 more local languages. Because we're trying to put local language.
Yeah, I was
Africans.
about to come to that.
Yes.
When you say vernacular, here in Kenya we have like over 42 tribes.
That is why we
and have
said,
very great
that is why we
radio
said
and
let's
TV
do Swahili.
stations.
Because
So
if you
you're
look
not
at the
reaching out to
TV,
that.
if you look at the TV quite often, you see that Swahili English is
the major.
the major. So by next year we're going to pick 2 more languages to add to Swahili, okay? And then we'll develop it
So
gradually.
right now, the vernacular stations are not included,
They are not
but
included,
there are plans
yes. It's
for
Swahili.
that to happen in future. Let's get to talk about the period on the number of times I'm allowed to vote in case I want to vote.
Okay.
Like from when to when, and how many, can I vote more than once?
Yes, there's absolutely no limit to the number of times you can vote. The more the better, the more the merrier. That's how the saying goes. So the more times you vote for your favorite personality, the more chances he or she stands to win the category, to be the winner of that category. So go out and vote as many times as possible. Vote for as many candidates as you can. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, what matters is the results that will be given at the end of it. The number of votes will determine who wins. The voting should start as soon as the unveiling is done, because
That is on 3rd.
Yeah. We'll announce it publicly. We'll even have a press release to announce that it's now open.
Okay.
People can start voting, so they should keep a watch for that. But communication will be there online, on our social media platforms, on the media platforms we've used for our
Social
advertising.
media,
For social media, we have our Facebook handle, our Instagram handle, all across, even Twitter, and our Google Plus accounts are all the same. It's RTP Kenya. Yeah.
Okay.
So most of the information, including where you can buy tickets for the event, like coming for the after party at Dibanj, you can find the information there.
And when does voting close?
Voting will close the last week of March.
It's 23rd.
23rd?
Yeah. 23rd of March.
All right.
So that the final event is on the 24th.
On the 24th.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that final event. What's in store for somebody like who is, what will happen on that day exactly?
You see,
before we talk about what is in store for the media personalities who will be awarded that night.
You see, I wouldn't want to blow my trumpet right here. But from the day one I started this event, from the day one I started this,
because you're telling me this is such a big deal.
Let me tell you
Ghana.
something.
It's something so huge and big, and you do it big.
Somebody might just see the event and think that the event is just one of those events.
Yeah.
This is an event that we're unveiling with close to about 9 million shillings. There is no sponsor anywhere. But we just want to show that this is what we can do. For clients to see an event, the packaging of the event. Most people I've spoken to, I said, look, go to my website. When they go to they call me, they say, man, God damn it, that is something else. That is nice. We wish Kenya would be like that. I said, Kenya will surpass what you see there. And let's wait to see what happens on the 10th. To tell you
don't want to let the cat out of the basket, really.
Yes, if you're not there on the, if you're not there on the 10th, either Radisson Blue or Carnival, then you'll be sorry that you were not there because you will not be happy with yourself.
Oh my goodness. Now, okay, probably tell us a bit about what is in store for the media personalities who will be awarded. Beyond this award, beyond being celebrated that day, give us the bigger picture for people to understand. You've been in this for 7 years. You've seen how it has transformed and shaped the media industry where you're from in West Africa. You've also done it in Nigeria. Tell us, the bigger picture. How do we stand to benefit as a country from this?
I keep telling people that the ROTP Award is an event that has come to add value in both ways you look at it. Now, what do I say so? In ROTP Award is a platform where, as an anchor, if you win, you're nominated and you win the award, you're transcend from where you were or propelled to a different position. Why do I say so? In the media world, there's what we call poaching. It's allowed. Now, what gives you the strength of poaching is your value. So if in Kenya today you become the overall personality in this award, in the media sector, automatically means that agencies will look up to you because for you to be the best, there's something different you're doing. Why do you need agency? Agency needs to send a message or sell a particular brand or a particular product. So you look for a channel. You might be the next person. Because in Ghana today, most presenters or most anchors, they have what we call endorsement. Companies endorse those doing news. They can endorse them by clothing them or endorse them by, these are all that comes with it.
All right.
Because the moment an institution has been able to achieve this, which means they've put in so much to achieve what they are, and that achievement gives them, you see, an additional value to what they are. So that's what ROTP seeks to add.
All right. This is something so interesting and huge. Probably let me borrow from your wisdom. You've been in the media industry for a very long time. For media personalities who are watching you this morning, some have been nominated, others probably are looking forward for such opportunities. What would be your advice to them in terms of how to achieve that level of brand that you're sharing with us?
That is what I'm saying, that from the outcome of 3rd of February and 24th of March, it becomes like a peer review for everyone within the industry. What has made this man to become what he is, or to have won this?
So from where you sit, what would make somebody be that person to look at, that person
I just told you the criteria. You must have the finesse, you must be consistency, you must, you see, there is a way, let me just tell you something. You might be watching a TV, for instance. There is a way an anchor gesticulates about a particular issue that builds your interest. There's a way a presenter carries herself or himself presenting the news, it makes you to want to watch the news. That's what we're talking about, okay?
All right.
Because if your presentation is all about you, for ladies, for instance, there's a way a lady could dress. Like the days back in Nigeria, we have people like Sene, Albert Brown, and Razak. Most young women on Sunday want to go and watch what they are wearing. And they pick pencil to draw what they are wearing.
All right.
Do you understand?
Is that good or bad?
It's good because it's something influencing what they're doing. Because when they dress and come out, they like the cuts and all that. They say, hey, man, I love this cut. They just draw it. Now, what makes them come to draw? Before they draw, they'll be looking at the news or the content presenting to them. So you must be able to attract that audience to yourself.
Okay.
And from what I have seen within the top-notch anchors in Kenya, I think they have that. We believe that the best Kenyans will choose the best.
All right.
So we're saying that if you have to be in this event, Radisson Blue is 100,000 for 10 persons. That is strictly for dinner, 100,000, 10 of, I think 100,000.
100,000 for a table of 10.
10.
And this is just for the unveiling?
Unveiling.
Yeah.
It's a complete dinner and all that with Alani playing in there, the band playing in there.
There's an after party?
Then
Yes.
the after party is at Carnival, which is 3,000 shillings. You can get at the gate or you can get at Mamidada.
So it's not an invite-only event?
No.
Anybody who can afford
Afford,
to come?
yes.
Yes.
Okay. Let's talk about
But the 3,000 doesn't come to Radisson Blue.
No.
Oh, okay.
The 3,000 doesn't come. 3,000 is for Carnival.
All right. So tell us about what next, like after 2018, what next do you have for us? Will we, 7 years down the line, 10 years down the line, how do you ensure on making that RTP remains and lasts?
Let me come in there. Does a good brand die?
No, it doesn't.
So it will not
There
die.
you go. We'll still be here. 7 years down the line, we'll probably be bigger. We'll probably have engaged Ethiopia and Egypt and South Africa and God knows where. It would become a completely Pan-African based radio and TV personality award.
All right.
Yeah, we have Kenya competing against Uganda, Tanzania, who knows? And like he said, it's going to UK, so
Yeah, so it keeps
they have
growing
big plans.
and growing.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that time when we will be competing with
Other countries.
other countries like West Africa. And
Like West Africa will take like 12 years to meet where Kenya is.
that's why I'm looking forward.
12
So
years.
that anyway, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you
It's
so
really
much
been
for
an
having us
eye-opener.
here.
And now you know how you can be a part of this exactly. Wait for that time when you will be told how exactly to vote and the codes for which person you want to vote for. It will be happening right after the 3rd, this particular Saturday. That is when the list will be unveiled. And you can be able to celebrate whoever is making your day, whether you're watching them or listening to them, and you can be able to support that. Very quickly, a final question as you give us your final words. What about the behind the scenes? You know, we are
Yes.
celebrating the voices, we're celebrating
they keep asking me
the
that
people we
question
see.
of,
But, you know, before I come here and before somebody reads news, there is, you know, a chain of activities going on and a very big team that works on it. Probably I may just be doing 20 or 30% of the work. So
You see, you want to become Oliver Twist.
I'm just asking for the
Yes,
sake.
yes.
Yeah.
Now, why I said so is that whatever that is good needs to be extended, right?
Yes.
Good. Now, this is the first stage we are doing. We're believing God that by next session, you will see some other categories will come in. It's a greater process.
All right.
We're believing God that in the next 4 to 5 years, we'll be doing about maybe 60, 70 categories within the industry.
All
So
right.
every aspect of the industry will be touched and developed. So we're looking towards
in
that.
Ghana now you're doing 150
150
categories.
categories,
Wow. So it needs time and we're
Yeah.
going to
Yeah.
And
grow
now
to
we're
that
doing
particular-
the best director, editor,
Oh, okay.
camera, you know, we're doing all that. We're even going to go into costuming too,
All
wardrobes. So it's just gradual. Talk
Okay.
about them all, yeah.
Okay, your final words for my viewer?
My final word is, can something good is on the table. Let's share it together. Let's eat together. And let's have fun together. ROTP, for sure, has come to stay. And Kenya, we are.
Thank you so much, Nyambura.
My final words would be, this is we are hoping this will open up doors for so many people. We have so many young people who are graduating and they're aspiring to be someone in the media. Since you people are here already, we want to make sure that the standards remain the same when these people are coming in. We are creating a platform for everyone in the media. Like he said, we are going to start looking into the behind the scenes, everyone involved behind the scenes. Like for some of the categories, I'll not mention which, instead of nominating the presenter who does the show, the nomination is to the team members. I will not mention any, but like team.
All right.
Yes.
Okay.
So we are looking to include everyone. We really hope the Kenyans are going to participate in voting. Please vote for your favorite broadcasters once the list is out, so that we can make sure we appreciate these people for all the good job they do to us. That's it.
All right. Thank you so much for doing this. We're really excited as people in the media. So keep doing what you do. Yes. Nyambura Wambu, the marketing director, RTP Awards, the Kenyan version of it. And then we have the COO himself, Dr. Wilcox Samuel Dilan, who is here with me in studio just helping us understand more about this particular award. So why don't you start and be a part of this journey as we go on to celebrate our media personalities. Thank you so much for watching the show since we started until now. We really appreciate your company. We'll see you again on Monday, bright and early, for another week, another exciting week of Good Morning Kenya. But remember to keep the Kudzacha team company tomorrow for the Swahili version of this particular show. My name is Safina Chengo Uma. I'll see you next time.